Yeah. So my hard launch was in 2024. That is when I decided to run against my opponent. And basically I was on a district-wide call because I was a county chair of one of the, at the time, 93 counties in Tennessee, and found out he was going to run unopposed. And I sent over my dead body and picked up a petition over a weekend and some liquid courage, and I was off to the races. But my journey really started in 2022. A year prior in 2021, I suffered an IUD fail. And found out I was pregnant, and was navigating a very like what could be a very complicated pregnancy. Unfortunately, I miscarried, and then again, you're dealing with the medical system, you're dealing with all the issues that come up with that, you're dealing with just not learning everything on the fly.
Right.
Well, a month later, I found out I was pregnant again,
Ugh.
and again, not a healthy start for a pregnancy right after a miscarriage. Shocking the doctor, shocking the system, shocking the family, having to navigate the medical system again, and again, a more complicated pregnancy, because just the way it started. Luckily for me, I gave birth to a beautiful baby 9 months later. And
Congratulations.
yes, we adore him, even though I don't quite trust him because he's not supposed to be here. And that is a joke for people. I've been a lot. Sometimes I get pushback on that joke, but no, we adore him. It was wanted and loved, and it's a happy surprise. Well, while I was on maternity leave, Roe overturned, and I just could not stand that. I could not stand the idea that now, a year later, almost to the day of what I was experiencing, now would have been more complicated. My
Mhm.
doctor's arms, one arm being tied behind their back, I wouldn't be getting the same medical care, etc. Tennessee's trigger ban was going to go in effect, so I did the logical thing. I started a TikTok account and became the friendly neighborhood liberal and started doing voter education and why you should show up in local and state elections. I was already pretty plugged in with the party at that point, because I didn't realize that it's not normal to be a 5-year-old watching The West Wing, but like that was me as a kid. And then I worked on a campaign in 2019. That was my first work, but I've been always a little bit political. Um, Started the friendly neighborhood liberal on TikTok, which was kind of a joke because people considered me radical at the time, but I wanted it to be fun and friendly and inviting. And then I also became a county chair a month later because I was like, okay, I'm going to change it on the ground and be involved in the party, and change the party from within while also educating voters. And then fast forward to 2024, I lost my election. But for those of you who don't know, I was a first time candidate. I had no name recognition. I ran my campaign as a mom of two tiny humans, at the time 4 fur babies. I foster with a local humane society. I worked full time. I ran a campaign in 5 months, and I raised over $120,000 as a first time candidate.
Incredible.
And I mean, this is with being told 3 days into me picking up a petition and being on the ballot that I would be lucky if I raised $50,000, and I got no party support. So like, this is a phenomenal race, and we felt it on the ground. We felt it in 2024 where it just felt different. People were showing up, even with everything else going on. And about 15 seconds after I lost, I decided I was going to run again, because I was like, let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep the work going. Let's keep moving the needle because, that's the goal, is to move the needle, make the change. And the numbers reflected that work. We learned that between 2022 and 2024, I grew the district. And that is what we felt on the ground. And now here I am running my second congressional race, and I've been running consistently since May of 2024. I have not stopped working. I still work full time. I work in the tech industry. I work in support. But Seth and I actually met over my logistics experience. We were up on a TikTok live debating, and I talked about international domestic logistics when it comes to tariffs. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me and how I got here. I mean, it feels wild telling the story, but this is what we need. We need change.